Welcome to Lit Happens, Saskatchewan showcase of the literary talent of the province. I am really looking forward to chatting with my guest today, Miriam Clavir. Miriam, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Wes.
It just feels really great to have you here. You've been in Saskatoon for what, about 9 months now?
9 months.
Yes,
now,
and I've been trying to get you here ever since you arrived, so it's great.
Thank you.
Now, we're going to talk about your book, Insinuendo, which I love the title, by the way. It's a beautiful title.
Thank you.
But first, I'd like to get a little bit of a backstory because this is just a small chapter of your career. Writing is sort of just a corner of what you do. Can you tell us what your career has been like?
Well, I am an art conservator who has worked in museums.
Yeah.
All my working life, I've worked for Parks Canada in Quebec City and at the Royal Ontario Museum, and mainly at the UBC Museum of Anthropology, or MOA. I have a passion for museums. I think I grew up going to the Royal Ontario Museum every week, and so to become an art conservator was just wonderful to be able to do that, and also to be involved, especially at the UBC Museum of Anthropology, in the questions such as what are we preserving and for whom and how, especially in relation to collections from Indigenous peoples and from peoples around the world.
Wow. So I think that was probably, I'm surmising, but this is probably an inspiration for your novel, your mystery novel.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And the novel is set at MOA, at the UBC Museum of Anthropology,
Nice.
and it gives a bit of a behind-the-scenes look, I think, at the museum. It's entirely fictional, except what is real is the setting and also all the details about art conservation.
Nice. I kind of get the feeling this was fun to write because you're weaving elements of your life into a work of fiction.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was, and I think there's a line in there where one of the characters says that, in your working life, at some point you say, "Oh, I could just kill so and so."
Yeah.
And yes, I did, but fictionally.
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
yeah.
Nicely done. So what's this book's been out, what, a few months?
Actually, it's 2 years now.
2 years?
Yes.
Okay. So what kind of reaction do you get to this?
Well, I have different audiences. So the museum audiences, like museum professionals, read it and because they want to know how conservators are going to kill people.
Yeah.
And I have to say, in my profession, there are a number of ways of killing somebody quite dead.
Nice.
Yes, well, but
Well,
only fictionally, of course.
Yeah.
But no, but and I think the reaction from people who don't know perhaps museums as well, is a fascination with the behind-the-scenes look at what really goes on in museums.
Yeah.
And by the way, let me thank UBC MOA for so generously allowing me to create murder and mayhem in their museum. There really has never been a real murder there, but
Thank goodness.
yes, thank goodness. Women like the protagonist is a bit older.
Yeah.
She's somebody who's undergone, as she says, a radical lifectomy, and after an unwanted divorce had to retrain and becomes, in her early 50s, a newbie, new profession, new job, new house, or place, rented place in a new city. But she has the experience of age, and she also has all those things that come along with aging. Her eyes aren't as good as they used to be, or her hearing, so she can't even eavesdrop properly when it's insinuated that she has been involved in a murder. And she could lose everything, her new job, and everything that she's just trained for in her life.
Wow.
And I've had comments from younger people who like kind of seeing what happens when you get a bit older and age a little bit. And I've had comments, and especially from men, about they like the forensic aspect because museum conservation, the methodologies are very close to forensic science.
Wow. Fascinating. I was intrigued before, now I'm very intrigued.
Thank you. Good.
Yeah. Now, another thing I wanted to just chat about for a minute is how you arrived in Saskatchewan, because you are the wife of John Donlan, who has been our writer-in-residence here in Saskatoon for the last several months.
Yes, and
Yeah.
this has just been wonderful
Yeah.
to meet everybody here. People have been so generous and so warm and so welcoming, and there are all these literary and artistic events going on all the time, and festivals, and we have had such a good time here. I'd love to live here, but
Oh,
yeah,
maybe you
no,
can.
I really that would be nice. That
Yeah.
would be nice.
And I'd like to say this is a sweet moment for us, because every season we get the writer-in-residence on the show, but this is the first time we've had the partner of the writer-in-residence, so that's fun.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So what does the near future hold for you? I can see that you have a lot of creativity inside of you.
Well, I have a second book with the same protagonist. It's set as she's a conservator on an archaeological dig in Quebec City, and it's on the desk of a publisher right now.
Great.
And I have a short story coming out in Grain, in the next issue of Grain, so
That's
I'm very
exciting.
pleased about that.
Yeah.
And so, you know, there's an interesting quote from Robert Frost where a student asked him why he should write.
Yep.
And Robert Frost said something like, well, I don't know why you should write, but I know why I do. I just don't get the same satisfaction out of doing anything else. And
Nice.
that's where I'm at, too. I just love sitting down and writing.
There is nothing like it.
Yeah, as you would know.
Well, I know we're running out of time, but I wanted to get out to viewers where around Saskatchewan can the book be found? I'm assuming probably our McNally Robinson here.
Yes, there are a few copies left on the shelf there if anybody wants to take a look at it, and it can be ordered from your favorite bookstore, any bookstore.
And probably your publisher's website.
Yes, the
Yep.
publisher is Bayeux Arts, as in the Bayeux Tapestry. And if people want, I have a website too, but I would suggest ordering from a bookstore. It'll be quicker.
Yeah.
But my website is miriamclavir.ca, so that's miriamclavir.ca.
Nice. Well, I know we're out of time, but this has just been an absolute joy to talk to you today. So
Thank you, Wes.
I'm really glad we got you up here before you depart our city. So
Well,
kudos to you.
I really appreciate being here. Thank you again.
You're very welcome. And that's all the time we have today for Let Happens. If you enjoyed today's segment, you can see previous episodes on Shaw TV or on my website, westfunk.ca. And you can connect with us online on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So I'll see you next time on Let Happens.